So hey, this is Yazuki Wolf from YazukiWolf.com, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Okami Champloo. So for today, I'd like to talk to you about some rules about drawing manga that you may or may not be aware of. These are basically just the rules I learned in Japan, so it may vary depending on what country you're in, but basically in Japan, these are the rules that we go by. First off, what type of paper should you use? I'm not necessarily saying that this is the best paper or anything like this, but generally what we want to be concerned about is the size. You want a fairly strong paper, and the size of the paper is going to be what in Japan we call B4. I see right here, B4. I'm not exactly sure what that ends up being. It's 257 by 364 millimeters. So you can figure out exactly what that ends up being in your own measuring system. I should specify we could also use this size too. This would be A4, which is a little bit smaller, and that's also sometimes used. But the main reason why we use B4 is because B4 is about 4 times the size of what the final product's going to be like. So you can see here we have 4 manga. If you take 2 away, this was B4. This size is called B5. If you take 1 more away, this final size here is going to be B6. So we have B6, and then twice as large as B6 is going to be B5, and then twice as large as B5 is the entire B4. So here is our page. And things to keep in mind. I'm not sure if you could see it in the video or not, but there are small lines here. Here you can see on this side. There you go. We have these lines here, right? And what that's telling us is that even though we have this large area for drawing, the final product is not going to show everything on the paper. The actual part of the paper that's going to show up is about the size of a little bit larger, well, about A4 size. So you have this line here telling you that you want all the most important information in your manga to stay within these lines. And I'll show you a little bit more detail about what that is with an example here. So here's my cover page. We're going to put that to the back. And then, so this would be the first page of the first 2 pages of the manga. And the reason why we look at it 2 pages at a time, or while I'm showing you 2 pages at a time, is because it's important to know whether you're drawing on the left side or on the right side of your left page or the right page. So the reason being is that when you have a manga, it's going to have space in the middle. It's going to be the gutter. And if you have your information here, a lot of the information that's going to be in this gutter is not going to show up well. Sometimes not going to show up at all. So the general rule is that you don't want to draw anything in your gutters. So where's the gutter in this page? Well, this is a little hard to see, but this is the gutter. So all this stuff I drew here may or may not be seen. So that wasn't a mistake. I kind of knew that it was going to be that way, but I wanted to bleed out a little bit. So anyways, you see on this side cleanly here there's nothing drawn. And this side I have some stuff drawn, but basically it's going to be cut off, something like that. So even though I know it's being cut off, all my main information is in this area. I have this person's face here, have the creature's face here as well, and the sword and everything. So you just want to keep in mind that you always want your main information to be within this box. Main information. What is main information? Well, first off, it's the faces and attention points of your characters. But secondly, it's also your balloon boxes for the writing. You don't want to have any writing happening in this area, definitely, and you also don't want any writing happening in the above areas either, or on the sides here. So even on this page we have the gutter here, which means that this side will show up to some degree. It's not going to be cut off quite as sharply. It's going to be cut off maybe somewhere around here, maybe, I think. So you have a little bit of space to work with, but you still don't want your words to be coming out into this area because there's a possibility that it's going to be cut off, and same goes for the top here. So as a review, things to keep in mind. Where is your gutter? This is the gutter here. You don't want any important information in this area. This is mostly going to be cut off. The area above here and to the sides here may be seen somewhat, but you still want to avoid having important information, characters' faces, dialogue, go outside of this box. So, that was that page. See, is there anything else I can show you on some of the other pages? So some examples from this one too. Alright. So there's the cover. Now here's the first two pages. So here you see this is the gutter. Don't put any information in that area. And leaving this fairly open. Okay. This page as well. I drew here because I figured it would bleed out a little bit, but this is probably going to be cut off about right there. And then this side is going to be cut off about right there. So that's basically how you do it. And you can see here I have the balloon going outside, but I keep the lettering. I'm not sure if that shows up or not, but while the balloon goes outside, the lettering is staying somewhat inside of the box area. Okay, so I guess that's about all I have to say about that.